How's it going out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new 1001 Movies to See Before You Die video. So let's get right into this video and see which one I saw. Last week, I had the pleasure of checking out another one of my movies on my list of 1001 Movies to See Before You Die. Now, this particular one actually came out in 2002 and was considered a big success over in its native land. But when it came over here to the U.S., it was considered a big hit too as well, being provocative and being a new age story with a lot of truth and so forth to it. And that movie happens to be the film called City of God. Now, City of God is actually a Brazilian film that Portuguese, actually, to be precise, that was actually, put in with English subtitles, brought over here to watch. And basically, this film was an interesting, yet something that I've seen before in previous films. It wasn't anything new to me. After watching the film, I was like, this seems pretty standard for over, unfortunately, that side of the world. There has been a lot of stories about, these youths growing up and becoming drug dealers, or, they found a hobby that kept them from being a drug dealer. That was something similar that there's been a lot of movies about. So I didn't see any really new originality to this. And supposedly this was based on true story over in that area of Brazil. And, with that, that happened during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I remember recalling hearing about like an incident like that during that time frame. But I feel they've done this story a few different ways, and like this was just another iteration or another type of form of it through a different director's eyes, basically. Now, this film was directed by Fernando Morales. Now, Fernando Morales has actually come over to the United States and directed a few decent films. Other than these two films, though, he's only directed a few other, Portuguese films, unfortunately, that weren't considered anything of great importance. But the couple films that he's actually directed, one is an awesome film that stars Rachel Weisz and also Ralph Fiennes, and that is the film The Constant Gardener, which was actually a really decent World War II film. It had a lot of great, plot points. It had a lot of great scenery. It was an interesting story, and I really enjoyed that film. There was a lot of great, scenes in the film that had a lot of great, building artwork and stuff like that was, common for the time period and that, conflict that this is supposed to happening in. And the story itself wasn't too bad either. It was an interesting story. It wasn't, super unimportant, or it wasn't, anything of greatness, but at the same time, it still was, entertainment-wise enjoyable. The other film that he directed was another awesome film that I hadn't really seen previous to this film. I hadn't heard of a story like this. But it stars the awesome and beautiful Julianne Moore, and it's called The Blindness, which was actually kind of like a post-apocalyptic, kind of sci-fi film where there's a whole bunch of these blind people, and they're trying to discover how to, fix them because something happened to them, and et cetera, et cetera. It was a really interesting film, too, and I thought he directed it very well. But with City of God, Fernando did a decent job. He kept it, kept the movie flowing and put some interesting aspects into the film and showing certain aspects of, what went on with, the supposed people and how their lives developed. And he did a good job of that. But the story itself, I felt, was just reused again, and it wasn't anything like that I had never seen before. And it kind of made me think, oh, why is this on this list of 1001 Movies to See Before I Die? I didn't think it was really deserving of being on this list because I didn't see anything of the greatest praise in this film. Now, majority of the people that were in this film were actually locals from the actual territory and weren't even actual actors. Some of them have become models and a little bit of acting since they made the movie in 2002. But the only other person that was actually in it that became a bigger star was Miss Alice Braga. Now, Alice Braga we all recognize from such films as the awesome 2010 film Repo Man with Jude Law, which was a really decent film. Definitely an awesome type of sci-fi film with interesting aspects to it, and kind of a remake of the Emilio Estevez film from the 80s as well. But at the same time, it was a really cool take on, if somebody actually designed these types of body augmentations that we need, like a new type of heart or a new type of kidney or a liver or something, and then we actually have to buy them like on credit or something and pay them off over time. It's like, oh, okay, I can repo this because this company owns it. It was a very different film, very interesting. The other film that Alice Braga was in was actually another great film that I thought was really fun. Is the film that's done by Neil Blomkamp, Elysium, that starred Matt Damon. That was another awesome film, another Neil Blomkamp film that was just superb. It was along the same lines as definitely District 9 and Chappie. It was a really amazing film, and the CGI work and just the whole plot of the film was really awesome. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was very different. Thought they did a really good job with it. And it was just a really rounded film, and I thought Alice Braga was really good in it too. Her character, you weren't sure where she was coming from actually throughout the whole film, and you find out her fate towards the end of the film, and I thought that was a really good role. But in City of God, she plays kind of the main character's female interest. And I thought she was decent, and it wasn't a huge role, but what she did what she did do in the film was actually very good and very interesting and very entertaining and kept my interest most definitely. But this film, other than her, really, like I said, all the rest are actually locals that they just had come in and act for this film on a one-time basis. It wasn't like they were actual actors and stuff. So I thought that was quite interesting. So if you're not familiar with what City of God is about, basically what the plot of the film is it follows these two kids. One's Little Dice and one's named Rocket. And each of them take a completely different path. One ends up becoming a drug lord and, pretty much, overlooking the town, while the other one keeps out of the drug tail by having such a wonderful passion for photography and wanted to become a photographer as a living. And basically it shows them growing up and what they have to deal with, and just basically what builds up to their climax at the end of the film. And just basically, what they do to get to where they are. It was definitely an interesting film. I would recommend checking out, most definitely. I only given this one 4 Golden Movie Boxes up, and like I said, I don't feel that this should be on the 1001 Movies to See Before Die. I don't think it's anything of greatness, but definitely it's good enough for people to kind of give a chance and check it out. Just to see it, to say, I've seen this film. And it was definitely interesting at certain points, and I thought majority of the people that were involved in it did an amazing job and still made an entertaining type of film. Very interesting and very wonderfully done. So that's it for this movie review, folks. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you've been here before and haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss one of these awesome videos. As always, keep your eyes out for any older, newer videos you might not have seen mine yet. As always, check out that awesome horror link down below about the awesome Horror Pack. Now, Horror Pack is an awesome subscription service of awesome horror films of DVD or Blu-ray origin that come right to your house every month. And also, these come with awesome limited editions that you can't get anywhere else that are very awesome and wonderful. Now, especially if you're a big fan of limited edition items and collecting stuff, like you can see behind me here, why wouldn't you want to get this awesome offer? It's awesome, especially if you're a huge collector. So what are you waiting for? Check out that link down below. And also, if you are interested in signing up, let me know down in the comments so I can hook you up with a discount on your first month. And as always, catch you next one.